Hi friends, this is Mainak Misra and welcome back to my channel. Today I will discuss with you Walter Salles' The Motorcycle Diaries. Che Guevara is one of the most important and well-renowned revolutionaries all over the world. Countless t-shirts all over the world pay tribute to his immortal existence. Innumerable articles have been written about him. Walter Salles' film shows not exactly the revolutionary Che Guevara, but the awakening of his revolutionary spirit. 23-year-old Ernesto and 29-year-old Alberto Ganado. Ernesto is a medical student and Alberto Ganado is a biochemist. Both are friends. They planned their continental Latin American trip and they start on 4th January 1952. The primary objective of the trip is fun and adventure. However, they end up witnessing punishing poverty and miseries of ordinary South American people during their journey together. This experience converted an introvert Argentine medical student into one of the greatest revolutionaries of the world. Che Guevara's activities and ideologies have influenced and inspired countless people across the world, and he remains in our hearts forever. Now let's discuss the story. Ernesto and Alberto Ganado planned their great Latin American trip, and the planned route is Buenos Aires to Chile, crossing Andes Mountain, from Chile to Peru, crossing the Atacama Desert, and from Peru to Venezuela, crossing Colombia. For this trip, Ernesto misses out his final semester. Even though he misses out his final semester, his family supports him wholeheartedly, and his father gives him a gun for any adversities. They first stop at Miramar, where Ernesto's girlfriend Chichina lives on a posh estate, and Ernesto gives her a puppy. However, she is not happy with Ernesto for seeing her after a long time, and she declines to have sex with him. However, she pays him 15 American dollars to buy her a bathing suit from the United States. Then they cross Andes Mountain and reach Chile. Their motorcycle, 1939 Norton 500, breaks down multiple times. They get a newspaper coverage for their mission of treating the leprosy patients. And seeing that newspaper coverage, A mechanic agrees to repair their motorcycle. However, they are compelled to leave that town hastily as Ernesto falls out with the mechanic's wife in a local nightclub. And the bike is getting broken multiple times, so they finally sell it off and start walking. And this is the first time in Chile they come across the punishing poverty and miseries of ordinary Latin American people. Landowners have ousted tenant farmers. A communist couple has been persecuted for their ideologies. They do not even have a blanket to cover themselves during that chilling night, wintry night. Capitalists are exploiting ordinary and very poor indigenous people. One mine owner doesn't even give basic necessity like water. Ernesto picks up a stone and throws at his car. This small act of rebellion makes the premise of a great revolutionary that the world will ever remember as Che Guevara. Then they cross Atacama Desert and reach Peru. They get elated by the astounding ethereal beauty of the landscape. They visit Machu Picchu and they are speechless by that mesmerizing beauty of Inca civilization. However, when Ernesto and Alberto compare the beauty of the ancient civilization with the current civilization of Lima, they detest the artificiality of modern civilization. Then they reach their destination, San Pablo labor colony. And Ernesto is pained to see the differential treatment of the leprosy patients. The patients stay on the northern side of the Amazon River, and the doctors and nurses stay on the southern side. Even doctors and nurses advise Ernesto to wear gloves, but he declines to do so as he believes that leprosy is not a contagious disease. Ernesto takes special care of a leprosy patient named Sylvia, and then they play football with the patients. However, they are denied food as they did not attend the mass. On his 24th birthday, Ernesto delivers a heartwarming speech in which he talks about the unification of South America. He swims across the Amazon River and spends the night with the leprosy patients, who give them a raft named Mambo Tambo, on which they sail across Colombia to Venezuela. So this is the story. During his childhood, Che Guevara was an acute asthmatic child. However, he was a voracious reader. He played multiple sports during his childhood, and he was a club level rugby player. Even though he is considered as one of the greatest revolutionaries in the world, his life has not been without controversies. He is accused of executing his political opponents summarily. ruthlessly without multiple thoughts, just in single mind and in cold blood. He completed his medical education in 1953 and then he went to Guatemala to support Jacobo Arbenzi's socialist government. But when his government fell, he fled to Mexico. Antonio Lopez introduced him to Fidel and Raul Castro. And it was him, Antonio Lopez, who nicknamed him Che because of his frequent reference to the term Che, which is in English hey. So that means Che is kind of a friend, referring to a friend. He joined Fidel and Raul Castro's 26th July movement and they conquered Cuba. After the Cuban Revolution, he became industry minister, finance minister, and the chief of Cuban Central Bank. However, he failed to maintain all these multiple state responsibilities. Then Fidel sent him to multiple countries as a diplomat. And ultimately, he went to the Republic of Congo and Bolivia for guerrilla fights. And in Bolivia, he was executed on 9th October 1967. So Che was a world-renowned revolutionary, but he also failed to lead some guerrilla fights, some movement. So he did not succeed every time. And he also failed to maintain few state responsibilities. So there are many debates, there are many terms, there are many lines. So we can tell that even though we can infer that even though Che remains in our heart forever, his life has not been without controversies, without debates, without discussions. And Walter Salles' idea to make this film is to give a love letter or a homage to South American people. This is his version of love letter or homage to his own people. He followed the same places as Alberto and Ernesto visited and he shot the film in documentary style. However, it is heartbreaking to see that Latin America hasn't changed much even after 50 years. The poverty, the miseries of people are still there. May not be at the same level, but it is there. And that pained Walter Salles during that time. But he was moved, he was greatly moved while making this film. He said that this film worked even without romantic storyline or actions. It is like getting wet in rain without knowing how. He also brilliantly uses a spiritual reference when the crew visited Alberto Granado in Havana. They interviewed him for more than 10 hours. And Salles asked him, how would it look if Che were to be rebaptized today? And Granado replied, it would look like crossing the Amazon River. And Salles brilliantly used this in the film. Gael Garcia Bernal, who plays Che Guevara, he swims across the river and reaches out to the patients during night. It has two significance. First, it shows The shift in Jay's ideology from an introvert medical student, he becomes a socialist, which makes the premise of a great revolutionary. And the second significance is it shows an analogy. Even Spaniards also came from north and conquered South America. So this is such a fantastic spiritual reference. So even though it shows or it looks like Ernesto swims across the river and reaches out to the patients, spends night with them, but there are some angles to it, some thoughts behind it. And Gael Garcia Bernal, he prepared intensely for this role. He met Alberto Granado in Havana, asked him multiple questions, followed his advices minutely. He even adopted Argentine accent, even though he is from Mexico. He swims across the river. He read about Che Guevara, almost multiple hundreds of articles about him. He read the works of Karl Marx, Jose Marti, Pablo Neruda. He prepared himself intensely. And even that swimming scene was shot over 3 nights, so it was not easy. And Rodrigo de la Serna was selected out of more than 1,000 people to play Alberto Granado. Even he has a connection, his family has a connection to Che from the maternal side as well. And he does a brilliant job. Eric Gautier's camera captures the breathtaking, ethereal beauty of Latin American landscape, which inspired multiple people to complete the same continental journey as Alberto and Ernesto did more than 50 years ago. Many have completed that trip. He used mostly natural light and wide angle lenses to capture those breathtaking scenes. And he also shot the close-ups of the peasants, indigenous people, breaking the fourth wall. You know, those touch hearts. And also he captured brilliantly the personal chemistry, the personal moments between Ernesto and Alberto. Regarding music, Gustavo Santaolalla's music is Latin America themed and brilliant. It is blended with flamenco style guitar, rock, jazz, orchestra, and also fun filled, exciting soundtracks, original soundtracks. In the first part, it really sounds like a road movie, a trip movie. However, later on, it actually shifts his dimension as per the shift of dimension in Jay's character. So that's it. Uh, you know, this is a brilliant film, and you should watch it. I believe you have already watched this film. If you have not, then please watch this film. And request goes again, please subscribe to my channel, press the bell icon so that you do not miss regular updates. And thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you. Bye.